You're live. I always wonder if I'm really live. I hope I'm live. Okay. I went back and watched the overview volume 1 in its entirety to get it fresh in my head. I had listed all of the models of boots that were current at the time. I'm not going to do that again now. I don't know what's changed in the last year and a half or 2 years, whatever. Maybe it hasn't been that long. I think it was a year and a half ish when I did that one. I'll look up the what do you call it? The number and put it in the description, and the at the end when it prompts the things, I'll include it there. Obviously, I never bought every single Thursday model boot. Like I said in that video, I didn't have any use for Chelsea boots. I haven't bought any new Chukka boots from them or anybody else since then. But I did get 2 of the Challenger boots, and the other one's the Black Label one that's in the box. I haven't worn it, so there's no reason to show it. There's no wear to review. Kind of same with the Black Coffee ones, which is a video that's getting a fair amount of traction. Pun intended, always. Getting some. I had not bought the wingtip boots yet. That was the other ones. I think I had purchased them in the sale and they hadn't arrived yet, but I still had to mess around with the shipping and return. And the winged, I don't remember. That's episode 151. The wingtip boots, I don't remember if it was the exact same situation as the Maverick boots, where one of them was already sold out, because I did end up with 2 pairs of both, but I don't remember which ones I paid full price for, except I know I paid full price for one of the pair of Maverick, which are the Western style riding cowboy boots. So here we have episode 142 was the Black Label of the Challenger, and episode, I just saw it, 144 was the unboxing of these. And then the previous, right around then, I did, the Maverick was 132 for one of the pairs, and I don't know if I did an unboxing for both pairs of that or not. Episode 111 was the overview, streamed 1 year ago, but that's not accurate. I don't know when 1 year ago. Again, I think it was over a year ago. If we want to be literal. So Maverick, episode 110, so that is a different unboxing. So I did unboxing for both colors of that, but I've only worn one of the 2 pairs, so not a ton of wear, but I'll show it. Even though I showed it this summer, I thought when I did that other video about Texas or some other thing, I don't remember exactly. And I had done a bunch of videos where I had compared the Captain with the Wolverine 1,000 mile, or the President with the Wolverine 1,000 mile. I didn't bring in the Wolverine ones this time. Which one is that? Is that okay. The President in the Chrome XL, the one I have worn the most. Right. Whereas honorable mention will go to the Diplomat, which of course, apart from the ones that are still in the box, is the one I've worn the least because it doesn't fit. And this is still one of my most watched videos, but no significant wear to really report on, except for like a little bit of crinkle there, where the grain kind of smushed in the first couple weeks, and then just, I couldn't wear them anymore. Too small. So lately, if you've been following my 12 boots in 12 weeks challenge videos, and if not, you can catch up on those because there's only like 3 of them so far. And I've mostly been posting about that in the community menu where you do photos and announcements and things. So there's photos and announcements about some of these boots. I haven't photographed all of them extensively. This one, for example, I was going to do a head-to-head with the Wolverine 1000 Mile, and then I just ended up wearing the Wolverine ones instead and keeping these in the bag. Because these are a little bit dressier. I want to keep them a little bit nicer instead of just taking them for daily walks and beating them up for no reason. So the outsole looks probably similar to when I did the last review, because I have worn them since then. These are not my totally neglected boot. And as I explained in, I think, one of the head-to-head videos of the Wolverine, I don't remember. I can, scroll back and try and see again. I know it's probably really boring watching my face when I do stuff like this. Where's the challenge? I didn't list all the numbers of all the Thursday unboxing boots either. If you go to my Boot Central playlist, you scroll back far enough, you'll see Thursday boot thumbnails, plenty. 12 boots. It had to have been before that. Okay. Cowboy boots, Nick's Handmade. And I have an update about the Nick's boots, which is that I have no Nick's boots on the way now until who knows when. They're supposed to be in production, but they're not in production. They were supposed to technically maybe ship next week, and they're not shipping next week if they're not in production yet. So maybe I'll get an email tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. White's boots, sizing, no. Caswell boots, that's even from 11 months ago. So I could have swore I talked about these boots since then at least once. I don't know where that could be. Spring Reset Chapter 200, maybe-ish. Late Summer Reset, that sounds promising. Autumn Horizon Boot Rotation, number 244. That's possibly where it ended up. But don't quote me, because I don't know. Because I haven't memorized all my videos, because some of these are long and nobody else watched them. That one's 44 minutes and 50 seconds, but I know that the boots is only one section of it, so you can scroll around and see if I show these boots off or not. Anyway, don't remember. But suffice to say, as I discussed, long story, almost short. Well, my last overview video was literally about 30 minutes, and I don't know if this will be that long or even longer. I want to try and keep stuff shorter to entice people to watch more, but I also want to be thorough. So, skip ahead if you don't want to talk about the President boot, But I had put shoe trees in these to minimize this, and I really felt like it had damaged the pour-on, the foam kind of in the footbed. And so I felt like this being kind of squishy and collapsing a little bit was the lesser of the two evils when it came to the overall comfort. Because I don't consider this necessarily a disposable boot, but I also don't know how much life I should expect to get out of it. But I do wonder if I got it rebuilt, how much it would be to kind of replace all that with leather anyway, and just kind of reimagine the whole boot from head to toe or whatever. But as you can see, it's, again, not terribly beat up. So not a boot that I was trying to, abuse and destroy just to, have a boot that I, was throwing away prematurely or whatever. And the companion, the left side, a little bit more crinkling, a little bit more pronounced. Not how much I really showed the toe of this one. I felt like I showed it pretty good. It's starting to crease in the same place, but it's not there yet. So again, how much of this happened because of the shoe tree or in spite of the shoe tree, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there is a plastic toe cap here, so that's going to fold where the toe cap ends. So the shoe tree, yes, should be helping to prevent some of that, but again, how much, I don't know. And this kind of not quite as squishy and unrigid as maybe the 1,000 Mile has gotten in maybe a shorter amount of time because I've worn them more. Overall, these have been pretty comfortable. But like I said, once I had put in the shoe trees for a few months, I really felt like I didn't like the way the foam fit my foot anymore. And maybe that was just because I hadn't worn them in a couple months also. Excuse me. You know, because you get used to other shoes when you haven't worn the shoes in a while, that sort of thing. And I was wearing a lot of those heavy duty boots at one point. I don't remember when, and you know, exactly all in the rotation, everything, blah, blah, blah. But so for those of you who don't know, this is like a derby lacing system with the over, and it's basically a service boot, pretty much modeled after, you know, a 1940s military style boot, like most of the similar ones that I collected. So I've talked about that in the past. There's a slight difference with the cadet boot where it's a little bit shorter or something. The difference with the Captain, of course, is one has the toe cap and one does not. And of course, the Captain comes in more unrefined leathers with more rugged outsoles, that kind of thing. I literally took these out and wore them twice this week, just out of laziness because I didn't feel like grabbing the other ones. And I didn't want to wear the waxed flesh ones to prematurely wear out the wax because winter hasn't even happened yet. And we're having a little bit of wet weather finally. So I wore them a little bit, but not, you know, exclusively or intentionally or whatever. So this one, you know, still a bit more stiff, as you can see. The temper's still kind of more there. They've been worn a bit less because I wore them kind of a bit when I first got them and then turned them into day hike boots, which I've discussed this before as well. So until this week, they weren't getting a lot of use. This is just where I stepped in somebody's candy or something. So yeah, the other one. So again, almost the exact same shoe, but not completely. 2 speed hooks, some eyelets, derby. You can see where the heel and the other stitching is almost the exact same stitching. So some people like the toe cap and other people don't. So that's like, but they do fit slightly different again, because this one a little bit too small. This one I got, I think, true to size. Yeah, this one I got true to size. This one initially I got the half size down and I liked the fit of it at first, and then they started feeling too narrow. But then when I bought the Hero boots and the other color, the other color, yeah, there we go. Then I went up half a size in this. This is size 7, so this and this are the same size, but this one fits way bigger. See how it's less narrow? And way, way bigger than this. As you can see, we're only a half a size different. I don't know if it shows up on camera as wide as it really looks in person. I mean, I hope, yeah. I've showed, like I said, I've showed it before. But this is the waxed flesh of the Captain. So I did a head-to-head of these before when I did the overview, because I never did an unboxing of this particular Captain because I had already done an unboxing of this Captain. So I figured, well, you'll figure it out. So I did wear these a bit this summer. So there is a bit of wear review that we can do on this. And the other one, yeah, this is where the toe got sliced off by the metal gate on accident. So I don't know what a cobbler would say or do about that. It was not intentional. I lost a little bit of I don't know if that's leather. I assume it's leather. Although I had said in the previous video that the welt was plastic on some of them. Oh, now it's gone out of focus. Focus on me. Focus on boot. Okay, whatever. There we go. But yeah, so same thing. But see, I don't know if a shoe tree would really matter with this boot because it does have the toe cap to give it that rigidity here, even though it's a soft toe and does not seem to have a toe cap like the dressier boot. So one other difference. So I don't forget which one I showed, but so this is in this one I had showed where there was a kind of a dimpling instep issue with one more than the other. Yeah. And that seems to have kind of not really become a thing. I'm showing the wrong yet. Showing the wrong side. But none of the wax has really worn off yet. Like I said, I was kind of keeping these kind of unworn for the same reason, so that when spring rolls around, if we have a wet spring, I'll still have these. If the wax has gone off the other pair, that sort of thing. And of course, these have the Kevlar laces, whereas these have the dress laces, which I pointed out before. And this one came with the Kevlar laces, but I took them out to put them in something else. And these came with the Kevlar laces that I already took out because they were way too long. This is the Hero boot. For whatever reason, these ones didn't seem as bad in this particular shoe, and you can see the tread has almost no use at all. I mean, I've worn them, but only on asphalt. I don't think I've taken these hiking or anything. But that's a different pair of Captain boots. Whereas again, these, a little bit of dust from the trail from a couple months ago, but they've been on the trail a little bit, but not as much as my side zip combat boots or whatever. And then these, let's go back and show the different outsole. These, of course, are the President boots again with the imitation day-night soles. So these have only really been on asphalt as well. So similarly, this one, again, this is a video that's been getting a lot of wear, or a lot of wear and tear, a lot of watches, views, whatever, is the other President boot and the Black Coffee. But again, I can't do a wear review on them because I haven't worn them. They're still in the bags. Because I was planning to keep these good while I wore these. But then again, like I said, I shelved these to wear the Wolverine boots. So these kind of got back burner, deprioritized. And I'm probably going to mix that up and wear them next month to finally get some use out of them. But they did have a little bit less of a rigid leather than even this one, which again, as I showed, is a little bit less rigid than this one. But this wax stuff, also a little less rigid. This one being the one that doesn't have the glove lining like all the other models that I've showed so far, except for the Challenger, but I wasn't really trying to show the Challenger yet. Don't count that one. So yeah, this one having the exposed inners, and you can see there's like a suede heel counter. You obviously can't really see the heel counter in the other ones because there's a black lining that covers it, so you can't see anything. Like maybe, actually, well, this one's kind of an over thing. It's just black as well. Didn't really notice that before. So my mistake. You can see it, but it's kind of indistinguishable, but it doesn't look suede. And so let's go back. This one, yeah, see, this one is the lining only. I don't think you can see the, no, yeah, this one is covered. So I guess I remembered that from before and made that assumption. with this boot, which was wrong. Okay, and this one has, yeah, an exposed, but it's a black, and it's not suede, so it's slightly different and totally different from this red material. Might be the same type of material, but I don't know, turned inside out or something. Don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, 2 speed hooks, some eyes, some shorter Kevlar laces. And this one having some scratchy and scuffy on the toe there. If the glare would ease up, you could see the scratches. There you go. This one having a little bit of scratch, but this one being, of course, the one that didn't get damaged by the gate, got damaged by something else. And yeah, the back stays, most of the stitching, again, same pattern as the other one, just a little more visible because the lighter color of the leather. And the heater came on, so I am sweating already. Try as I may. Okay. This pair. I wore one and didn't wear the other color. So this is the wingtip. Now the wingtips did run a little bit bigger. These are the ones I wore. Yeah, these are creasing in them. Okay. So here we had more. That was one of the things I wanted to mention, is because of course I'm rushing this video to get it out this weekend because Black Friday is next week, and I don't know if they'll have a huge sale on all the boots or not, or what. Blah blah blah. This one cost a bit more than the standard $200, $199. And blah, blah, blah. Oh, but I don't want to talk about this one yet. Actually, I want to talk about the Hero boot first. And I don't remember if the Hero boot was the same price as the President and the Captain. It might have been. I remember there was the Logger boot that was a little bit taller that I ended up having to return because of a sizing issue. This one, I had recently just, like I said, taken out the laces. These were some dress laces that came with Grant Stone boots or something. So they're a little bit thin and wimpy, but they work okay with these eyelets. But this is the wrong outsole for what I want this boot for, so I don't know. Because I was going to treat these more as regular walking boots than hiking boots like the other ones. Since, again, I already have 2 pairs with this outsole, so I don't really need a 3rd pair with this outsole necessarily. But this definitely looks like a hiking boot, right? The Logger boot, the heel was not that much taller, but it had a leather stack looking insert. I don't know if it was leather or just made to look like leather, but it didn't have the whole full solid heel. Like I said, I had sent them back. Those had Vibram or something outsoles on them, though. There was something weird and different about them, so I don't know if they were resoles or seconds or prototypes or what. But they just didn't fit. So you know, it wasn't any real issue with that made me return them. It was the other. And so then when I got these, I don't remember if I got these at a sale price or not. I remember when I got these, they were at a sale price, and I'm pretty sure they were seconds because I was talking about how the front, where the vamp meets the uppers or whatever, this one is like super crooked, and the other one's slightly crooked, if memory serves, or maybe. Yeah, I think this was the more crooked one. Like I said, I just watched the video. Otherwise, I had completely forgotten about that because they lace up fine, they wear fine, you know, except that unlike these boots, again, and slightly more than these boots, even though they're technically the right size, I still feel like I'm sliding around in them. Like I need to add a little bit of an insert to shore these up a bit. So especially if I wanted to hike in them, I would hate hiking in a boot that feels that sloppy. Whereas these might be a little bit too tight and kill my feet. I prefer them for hiking for that reason, because I know I'm not sliding around inside my boot. These Hero boots, on the other hand, like I said, I sized up 7.5, whereas these are 7, and they both fit about the same. They both look about the same width. So the Hero boots definitely run smaller somehow than the Captain boots, that I had to manipulate the size to get the same sloppy fit. But at least they weren't smashing my feet completely, because the 7s were terrible, same as the 7s in the loggers. And I talked about this in the logger video too, I'm pretty sure, or this video unboxing, I don't remember, probably both. So yeah, it's a little bit squishy. It's gotten a little bit of wear, more than the yellow ones or the tan ones. I had talked about how I think this waxed flesh is kind of a gimmick, because they can use kind of a crappier leather, and then it'll look cooler when it, flakes off and it looks all suede-y or whatever. I didn't really buy it for that reason. Oh, and again, no reinforcement in the toe. I had gotten them for the waterproofing feature. So however long I can make this last is actually what I want to happen. So again, not really wearing them that much this week. I'm wearing them a little bit because we had some rain. It might still be raining right now. I just can't hear it. But when the stuff all flakes off of this and everything else, I'll use them as a summer boot, when I put these away when the rainy time ends or whatever. So if the wax lasts through most of the winter, this can be an okay summer hiking boot. Again, I probably just need to put a insole in the thing, and I haven't been using the shoe trees at all because, again, I don't want to mess up the foam on the inside, so I might be getting more of this kind of collapse, so that might cause this wax to die sooner. I don't know. Not really sure. So the other one. And again, similar stitching, except no speed hooks. Same outsole as the Captain. Like I said, somebody's gum or something on my might be bird poop, but I don't think so. These came with the pole tabs. I don't think any of the other ones did. I took scissors and removed this because they were these nylon paracord kind of material label pull tabs, so I really hated them and got rid of them immediately. These just have more of a raw edge than some of them. Some of them look, the finishing isn't great, but again, how they've managed to keep the price at $200, what corners they've cut in the last year or two, I don't know, because they're still about the lowest price service boot you're going to find that is worth buying, even if it's only for a short-term introductory use or whatever. How many years? Some people say they get, 7 years or more out of their Thursday boots, but I don't know how much they wear their Thursday boots, and all that kind of thing. Again, this one being newer has gotten less use than this one, but it's still showing some distressing already, which again is the characteristic of this gimmicky kind of leather, because it's supposed to look beat up and rugged and blah, blah, blah. And again, I didn't buy it for that reason. I bought it to repel water. So we'll see how that goes. And that's why I kind of bought these ones, even though I had said I wasn't going to buy another pair of the Captain boots, because I didn't really want the cap toe and the this and the that and the da da da. Just this color at that price. Again, I think these were defects or whatever, and so it was like, okay, I'll definitely grab them since they're in my size. Okay, so getting back to the wingtips. Oh, we're already at 30 minutes. Well, that's okay, because I still got 3 left. I got these, I got the Challengers, and I got the Mavericks. Okay, so in that order. So if you're still watching for the next 15, 20 minutes, whatever, you can skip ahead if you don't care about the wingtip boots. Anyway, yeah, I've worn these once or twice, I think only. So they did get a little bit of creasing, and they did come with totally different laces that are also a bit long, but not the end of the world. And I might swap these laces with more of those thinner, even dressier laces. I haven't decided yet. Just because it's a more dressy boot, but some of those laces don't stay tied very well. Excuse me. Little maintenance here. So again, we have the lining on the inside, although the heel counter is outside the liner or the heel. You can't see. Shoot. Well, anyway, it's dark brown and it's kind of suede, but not as rugged of a rough looking suede as that other one was. And we have I can't tell if I removed a pull tab from here or not. Maybe you can see where it's kind of rough there, but that might just be where the finishing is again. Kind of, you get what you pay for. Because obviously there's a lot more expensive wingtip boots that you can buy. And again, I might have got these at a sale price, but I don't remember. But yeah, you had decent broguing. I mean, J&M offers stuff that fits me in the shoes, but I don't think they have any boots that are my size. Their prices are comparable, which means the quality is probably comparable, which means if you're really on the market for, higher quality, then you want to get the Loke ones that are $400 or $450 or whatever, instead of these, which were like $235 or whatever the deal was. But so same thing, your standard Thursday. Oh, and this one I went up a half, 7.5, and they are a little bit sloppy, but the other ones were way too small. So same thing, because they don't really offer wide widths and things. If they offered a wide width, I bet I could have got away with a 7 wide in this one. And this one, was it? I forget. Maybe, and they would fit slightly better, maybe, than going up half a size. But again, for $200, throw in an insole and get over it. I mean, I know there's a lot of Thursday boot haters out there who are like, why would you buy 6 pairs? Actually, more. Let's see. Maverick times 2, Challenger times 2, 4, Captain times 2, 6, Diplomat. Wish I had not bought those. Wingtip times 2, President times 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, and then technically 12 with the Diplomat, and then 3 pairs that I returned, or 3 models that I returned. So what do I have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have a dozen pairs of Thursday boots now, and I've worn, half of them, I guess. So whatever. Yeah, that's a fair amount of money because I bought extra, just to get them. Like I said, and some of them I got them at the sale price, so they weren't the full $200 or whatever. At least one of the cowboy boots, the Challenger boots, those cost a little more because they were not on the sale price. They were the new special deal, but I wanted the 2 different leathers. One for beat around use and one for keep them nicer. But of course, buying a work boot in a nicer leather is kind of an oxymoron, but I wasn't planning to use them as work boots. I just wanted the arch support. So I explained that in one or both of those unboxing videos. Anyway, so yeah, another one. This one, again, it's the devil in the details, where I really, really, really would, even more than this, put in a shoe tree if I didn't want to risk damaging the insole. So another one where it might be worth the rebuild. And so here you also see the leather stack heel, similar to what the Logger had. They didn't do any contrast thing. They just left it brown. But it is there. So you can replace the heel cap without having to replace the entire outsole, which the President also kind of has that, but the heel is just not as tall. I don't know if all the President models have that, because they do have the different leathers. So some of the leathers might be this outsole. And some of the captain boots have the nicer leathers, so I don't remember. Some of them might have this outsole. But this has this outsole. And you can see this is a different shape than the President boot. A little more pointy, a little more narrow. So again, I definitely had to go up half a size with this one, whereas this one I was able to go true to size. Other people say they have to size down with Thursday boots. They think they run huge. But that one guy, Tech, he's in a different country, though. So Australian shoe sizes may not correlate exactly to our shoe size. I still haven't figured out why he's always going, these boots are huge. I had to buy them smaller. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Those boots smashed my feet and I had to return 3 pairs. So I have no idea what's going on there. So yeah, the Logger I returned. The Cadet I never bought, and none of the Chelsea boots I'll probably ever buy. The Cadet is slightly different than the Chukka boots. I'm not sure exactly how. I haven't looked at it in a while. But again, I didn't buy any of the Chukka boots. So this wingtip, I guess I'll show the other one. Like I said, I got the other color that I haven't worn, so nothing to really show there. You can watch the unboxing video of that if you want to see the other color. I think I did both of these in one video, but don't hold me to it. Again, I don't remember. I know the cowboy boots, I thought I did wingtip boot. Yeah, 30-minute video. That's probably both colors. Chapter 151. Whereas the Challenger boots, I did 2 different videos, and the Maverick boots, I did 2 different videos, 132 and 110. I think I said that already. And the Logger boots was 109. And again, the overview 111. And I had compared the Thursday boots to Nick's and JK Logger boots like way back in the early days when I first did the Logger boot video. The first Thursday Captain video is chapter 10. The first President video is chapter 12. The Diplomat video, chapter 13. Just to get through this real quick. And then PNW Logger boots, chapter 35. And I might have mentioned the Thursday boots again in a different log. Yeah, Ad Tech. That video people are still watching. That one's short. Chapter 41. I had mentioned the Thursday boots in that one, but probably not extensively. Because that was just the unboxing. The next video where I talked about the Ad Tech boots forever for 20 minutes was in the Drew's boot video. And I didn't talk about the Thursday boots at all then. Right. I think that should be all the Thursday videos up to snuff, up to speed. So anyway, here's the left boot. Again, you know, the broguing, the marbled leather. It's a really nice looking boot. And again, not expensive. But, you know, again, if you want something with, you know, superior broguing, superior leather, you know, not this thin leather, because it is kind of thin. It might still be thin leather, but it's presumably higher quality thin leather. You know, it's going to be $400 or $500. So these were fine for what I wanted. They have the Metallian toe. The toe's not too pointy, where it looks like witch boots too badly. And of course, I was wearing this with a kilt, so it really looked good with that. Offset the whole thing, because the standard kilt shoes that everybody wears are not meant for casual events. They are kind of semi-formal things, and they're all right. They're usually not expensive if you just go the standard route. I think I got a pair for like $80 or something on sale or whatever it was. They're not super comfortable, but if you're just walking around at the fair for a day, like they'll do the job. They'll do the job, but these look better than just the flat black ones. You can get the brown ones if you're willing to pay a little bit extra and all that. But since I don't wear proper kilt shoes with my kilts very often, I didn't see the need to spend too much extra. And those have a nice vintage throwback look, more than a flat color like this or black. Of course, I don't have any black shoes in here at all right now. So the Challenger boot, again, I did 2 videos about this already. The big change here was we have the higher heel stack to allow for the extra arch support. And I have the neoprene things in here that JK Boots sent me that I'm not taking those out right now because they're a pain in the butt to get back in. And they smush down when you put your foot in them, even if they're not cut quite right. But you have kind of a suede interior. So again, not lined. Again, I can't really show. The other ones are still in the box. I haven't worn them, so I can't really do a wear review. They didn't come with the kilties that the PNW heavy-duty boots usually have to protect this gusseted tongue. But their speed hooks and hardware is not as aggressive as the PNW boots that use they charge twice as much or more for their boots, but they use cheaper hardware. That's one thing that really annoys me. Thursday boots can get better hardware for, again, $230 or whatever these were. I don't remember if these are the laces that came with it or not. Might be. There is still getting a little bit of damage on the tongue, though, as you can see, but not shredded like if you go back and watch my Wolverine videos, the tongue on those things is just getting shredded already on those 1,000-mile boots. And they don't even have a gusseted tongue. This is a different material than different PNW boots use different companies, that is. Will use a different tongue material. Some of them will use a thicker material. Some of them will use the thinner, more vinyl feeling stuff. So it kind of varies. But you can see, yeah, I got a little bit of creasing. Not a ton. I did wear them a bit when I first got them. Again, not where I'm going to bother putting in a shoe tree. We're getting a little bit of an indentation here. And we do have a soft toe, I think. But again, we have a toe cap. This time we have a real toe cap, not a fake one. So the rigidity is there. And this time we have this heavy-duty Vibram outsole, so they don't flex anywhere hardly at all. You have to, kind of get used to walking in them a bit more. I don't mind the arch as much. You don't feel it in these like you do in the White's boots. The Nick's boots, the arch is a little more comfortable for me. This is less pronounced than even the Nick's. It's not the same exact. I got some gunk on my shirt from somewhere. Okay, that's nice. I don't know which boot had gunk on it, but might have been this lace. It's kind of a double-edged sword where you have to kind of suck it up and get used to walking on the arch for a lot of the boots, but then at the end of the day, your foot feels better, hopefully, after than if you'd, worn boots that don't have any arch support. I had always lived under the misconception that because it had the heel and this drop that gave you arch support, but it really doesn't. So this is an attempt to give you a little bit more, and again, not quite the same. But what most people will really not like is the higher heel and what they've been calling the ski ramp on some of the models. The ski ramp here, again, you need it because that's where the arch goes. Some of the other models, I don't think have the arch support, but they still have the ski ramp profile. So I'm not sure why they did that with the Thunder boot or whatever it was called, or I don't know. They came out with a couple models like right after they came out with this one. So I was like, no, I'm done. I'm not buying anymore. you know, I already bought 2 of these, and that was like $500 or more, somewhere in there. And but again, still cheaper than 1 pair of Nick's boots, because the cheapest pair of Nick's boots I had, I think, was like 650 or something. So 2 pairs of these. Again, not the same boot, but for the amount it should last before I switch to the other pair or whatever, you know, after I wear through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other pairs of service boots, not counting the wingtip boots. So yeah, I'm pretty well set. I think that I shouldn't need a another pair of Nick's boots anytime soon yet, even though I'm waiting for the 1 pair they're supposed to be here last month. But so yeah, not a ton of wear yet on this, and again, only have used them walking around on the asphalt in the street mostly. I don't think I took these hiking. I might have. I mean, they look a little dusty compared to some of the other ones, so I must have taken them hiking for like an hour or something one morning. I know oh yeah, I think these were the ones that I wore. Yeah, just like 2 months ago. I think I did take these hiking, but I had to cut the trip short to go get my car worked on. So I got barely any use. I'm pretty sure these might have been the ones I was wearing that day, because they definitely have some not asphalt looking dirt in there. Yeah, so, but you can see where they had done stitching and nails. There's supposed to be nails in the heel, but they didn't do the screws in the front part of the foot, and they didn't channel the stitching, which the PNW brands typically don't either. And the midsole, and they did a stitch down front, and then this recessed back, whatever you call that, 280 or whatever, as opposed to 360, like more like 180. Not sure. The overall leather, again, this one not anywhere near as thick as the leather I have in the Builder Pros, or even that other pair of Packer boots that I got. This is definitely not the same. And the other one, it's a prettier leather, but about the same thickness. So really, again, not the full Nick's Urban Logger experience or whatever. And this pull tab, most unnecessary in a boot this short. I prefer an 8 or 10. This being a little bit short, but again, I got this for more warm weather use, and so it was kind of a compromise where it was like, okay, because I'm not going to use them for, you know, worrying about rattlesnakes and all that kind of thing when I have those other heavier duty ones and blah, blah, blah. But I can still wear them hiking if I really, really want to, and blah, blah, blah. And I can use them for work boots because they're not the expensive leather like the other ones, blah, blah, blah. So a compromise boot all the way around for $240 or whatever it was. So same with the cowboy boots. These will show a little bit more wear, I think, than the last 2 pairs, because I literally wore the last 2 pairs. Not that much. I guess I should have unwrapped all these before I made the video, but whatever, you're getting the authentic experience. Knowing that I wear them and put them back in the box most of the time for storage. Okay. So here we have a bit of scuffing. I did wear them outdoors a couple occasions. Paper. And here we have a lined shaft instead of the raw, like the Tony Lamas or the whoever, Laredos or Dingoes or whatever. I don't know if you'll be able to see anything because this. Try to get that light show it, but the angle is wrong. Everything is backwards. But anyway, it's the same foam as all the other ones. And this molded to my feet pretty well in the amount of time I wore them. But they're cowboy boots, so you do have a more of a ramp heel. So, of course, it is going to cause more squish, permanent damage in the insole sooner because your weight is going, more that way than the other boots. Again, still not a ton of arch support, but it's a cowboy boot. So if you were really using them for what they're for, you'd be riding on a horse instead of walking around at a party. So there is that. But it was a Western theme party. So I had my new boots with my leftover conchos, and I felt good. Those did not come with them. I don't remember which boots I got those with, or if I bought them separately from Sheplers or something. But yeah, the stitching overall I like. It's not super showy. It's, recessed black. This was called the Brandy, I think. I don't remember. And the other one was called the Old English, if memory serves. And the seams on the side, so the back stays just a little doohickey down there. I had tried to look into getting cowboy boots rebuilt, and I'm not sure what they would do to make that work, how much leather you have to try and expand it. And of course, it has the pull tabs on the side instead of the holes, which for functionality, most guys say the holes are better, but I think the holes don't always look nice if they're not done right or whatever. Those Ariat ones I got, video number real recently, 234. They have the holes. That was the first time I had even looked at boots with holes in a long time. And those were kind of another compromise purchase. But here we have the toe bug and everything done more or less correctly. So you're supposed to get some amount of flex with it, I think, not just decoration. So it's not quite in the exact necessarily place. This could probably be a little farther forward to put the flex more here, down here. But they don't look terrible. I'm pretty sure the toe bug should be more on the toe. But they didn't totally mess up the stitching because it still flexes here in the middle of that kind of block. And then it flexes again here at the top of the vamp. So it's not perfect. I don't know if it's exactly where I would want it placed if I was getting them done custom, but again, for $230 or whatever, I mean, like, seriously, yeah, okay, fine. And again, wasn't as crazy about the rubber on the heel. If you're going to try and dance, I think this can stick to the dance floor a bit, but a lot of people, I think, kind of dance on their toes to minimize that. This is just mud in the little bit of the creasing. I know I tried to clean it up a bit, and that's what's the residue that's left because I didn't go through it with a brass bristle brush or whatever. And a little bit of damage here, but they do still have the lemon wood pegs, which is very traditional. So a nice touch for, again, a lower price than some of the other boots that I had experimented with that, frankly, for the way they fit and the way they felt, but I would definitely buy these again just to say. But 7.5. I did have to go up half a size with these. And they're not as loosey-goosey sloppy as some of the other ones, though, because you can see they are still narrow. So if you have a wider foot, yeah, I don't know, going up half a size might not be enough. And then if you go up a full size, they might be getting kind of long. But again, it depends on what you're doing with them. Because if you're riding on a horse and not running a marathon, it might not matter too badly. So this one, the shaft is a bit more distressed. Got a little bit more used look to it. A little bit of scuffing here where I tried to get them off. I cannot get the right one off without assistance. I've mentioned that before. I can get the left one off, and then the right one, I need somebody to pull it off for me. I was rolling around on the floor and trying to use my screen door as a boot jack wedge kind of thing to pry it off, and it still didn't work. But fortunately, somebody was home. What are you doing? Please get my boot off. That was the first time I wore them. When I wore them to the party, what I did was take another pair of sneakers with me and had somebody remove this one for me, and then I just put on my sneakers and drove home. So that solved that problem. And I had come from the hiking trail, so I hadn't been wearing these all day either. I switched out of my hiking boots and put these on. So I was only wearing them during the party, but I know I had worn them around the house, taking walks before I went to the party to make sure that they fit and all that. And so they weren't totally brand new when I wore them to the party, where they were totally stiff and didn't know if they were going to be able to, if I'd even be able to walk in them or whatever. Wasn't quite as epic as that. I had already returned the other pair that weren't the right size, which made me lose out on the other pair at the sale price that I had to buy the regular price. Yada, yada, yada. But yeah, so this is the Maverick. So again, they had another version that had a square toe that was a total no-go for me. And then they had a roper one that was another no-go for me. And then they had a harness one that I might look at them, but I don't really like the motorcycle style of harness boots. I want the other harness boots with the rings more. But if they have a decent pair of black ones, I might try and check out the harness boots, just because I don't have any black boots that are kind of like that. I don't have any pull-on black cowboy boots that fit me anymore, but I don't really wear a lot of black anyway, so I don't know how much I need them. Someday in the future, maybe we'll look at them. But anyway, so that's this model. And we're at an hour again already. Yep, I knew it. Well, that's okay, because I did many pairs, not just one pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 or something. I don't know. I'll let's count. 7, and then the other 2 that I didn't talk about, or that I don't have here, that I did talk about slightly, the Logger and the Cadet and the other model of this and the other color of that and the other color of that. So yeah, it's got several different models to squeeze into one video, and hopefully not too boring and not too, useless information. So that's the overview of the Thursday boots that I thought were mostly worth getting anyway. Your results may vary. As always, if you have any questions, by this point, you would have already done so, I hope. Leave them in the comments. If you just want to say nice video or something, that's fine too, but I just won't reply most of the time. Like I said, if you have any sizing concerns, I don't want to say for positive, because I don't understand what's going on with other people. But for me, they all run small, almost every single one. Again, this one I got true to size. These I got, what size are these? The cowboy boots I had to go up half a size. The wingtip boots I think I had to go half a size. I don't remember what size that. I can't even read that. It's embossed in the grain, so I really can't read it. It's not printed like the other ones. I'd have to go and get the other box, and so never mind. So yeah, I don't remember what size these are, but they're not the perfect fit, but they're decent, and I did return at least one pair of these at some point, and I had to wait to get the other ones or something also. So chances are these might be true to size or half a size up, same as the rest. because I'm pretty sure if I went down half a size and I got them, I was like, oh no, not going to happen. Or if I bought them true to size, I was like, oh no, not going to happen. Because almost always, if I know I've returned at least one of them, it's because they were too small. Just don't quote me on which size these are. Again, you can find out in episode number, whatever episode number that was, 144. I might have covered it somewhere in that episode or in the comments, and or episode 142. So I think that's all I have to say at 1 hour and 15 seconds in the middle of the night. But oh yeah, I got the new posters for those of you who recognize it. If you can name this guy, you get bonus points. Real guy, and I don't know if that's him in the other poster or not, but you can't tell from here. Anyway, but the framing, it didn't quite frame exactly what I wanted. I wanted the posters not quite be too cut up. I guess I could lower that one a little bit, but it would look better on camera. But then in the room, it would look weird because I had to do a descending thing with the three to kind of make it look right for the room. Because this one was on, this one was on that wall, and I moved it over, and then I took down the one that was here, and because it was more of a summery spring kind of poster. So then when I added that one, then I put this one to go with it, and of course being horizontal instead of vertical, I staggered the three of them to make that look. Again, you can't tell because the top's cut off. But anyway, okay, so that's enough babbling.